Hello and welcome to Rising Stars Video Maths. This video is interactive, which means as you work through it, you'll need a pen or pencil and some paper to have a go at some tasks. You'll be asked to pause the video at certain points to give you time to work out your answers. But remember, you can also choose to stop and replay at any part whenever you feel you need to. Have you got that pen and paper? Great, let's make a start. We're going to look at long multiplication in this video. Long multiplication is a good method to use when you need to multiply numbers with 2 digits or more by another 2-digit number. In our examples, we are going to be multiplying 4-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. Let's take a look at the steps to success in long multiplication. Here is the first multiplication sentence we're going to tackle. 2,381 times 74. The first thing I need to do is write the numbers horizontally, one on top of the other, lined up in columns. Make sure the larger number is on top and that the columns are lined up correctly. That means in this case, the tens and units in 74 must be lined up with the tens and units in 2,381. The second step to success is to multiply 2,381 by the 4 in the units column. You need to work from right to left, digit by digit. In this example, that means starting by multiplying 4 by 1. The answer is 4, so 4 is written in the units column. Next, the 4 needs to be multiplied by 8. Now remember that although we are going to multiply 4 by 8, what is actually going on is 4 times 80, because the 8 is in the tens column. So, 4 times 8 is 32. The 2 is written in the tens column because it is 20, and the 3 represents 300, so is carried to the hundreds column. Can you work out what has to be multiplied next? That's right, 4 times 300. But remember what we're actually going to do. 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. But the 3 we carried to the hundreds column earlier needs to be added to that answer. 12 plus 3 is 15. So 5 is written in the hundreds column, and the 1, which is 1,000, is carried to the thousands column. What comes next? You guessed it, 4 times 2,000, which means what we're actually going to do is 4 times 2. The answer is 8, but remember, the 1 that was carried across needs to be added to this. 8 plus 1 is 9, so 9 is written in the thousands column. The third step to success is to multiply 2,381 by the 7 in the tens column. The answer to this is written on the line below. As we are now multiplying by a multiple of 10, we are going to put a 0 as placeholder in the units column before we start. Now we're ready to go. Again, you need to work from right to left, 1 digit at a time. This means starting by multiplying 7 by 1. Although remember, this really means 70 by 1, because 7 is in the tens column. The answer 7 is written in the tens column. Next is 70 times by 80, although what we actually do is 7 times 8, and the answer is 56. 6 goes in the hundreds column, while the 5 is 5,000, so is carried to the thousands column. Now it's 70 times 300, which means we will multiply 7 by 3. 7 times 3 is 21. This needs to be added to the 5 that was carried over. 21 plus 5 equals 26. The 6 goes in the thousands column, and the 2, which is 20,000, is carried to the 10,000s column. The final multiplication needed is 70 times 2000. So we will multiply 7 by 2, which is 14. However, you need to remember to add on the 2 that was carried over, making the answer 16. The fourth and final step to success is to add up the two totals to get the final answer using column addition. 4 plus 0 is 4. Now for the tens. 2 plus 7 is 9. Next is the hundreds. 5 plus 6 is 11. So write down the 1 and carry the other across to the thousands column. Now it's 9 plus 6, plus the 1 that was carried, which makes 16. Write down the 6 and carry the 1 to the 10,000s column, where it's added to the 6 that's there, which makes 7. Last but not least, there's the 1 in the 100,000s column, which stays as it is because there's no other numbers to add to it. This means the final answer is 176,194. 2,381 times 74 equals 176,194. Let's try another one. This time we'll do 1,055 times 23. Can you remember step 1? That's right. Write the numbers horizontally, one on top of the other, with columns lined up correctly. What comes next? Yes, multiply 1,055 by the 3 in the units column. 3 times 5 is 15, so put 5 in the first column, and the 1 is 10, so carry it to the tens column. Next is 3 times 50, but we will do 3 times 5 again. Remember to add the 1 that's been carried to the answer, which makes 16. Now we put 6 in that column and carry 1 to the hundreds column, because it is representing 100. Now we do 3 times 0, which we know will be 0, so we just add the 1 we have carried to the 0 and put 1 in that column. Now it's 3 times 1,000, so we will multiply 3 by 1, which is 3, and write 3 in the thousands column. The third step is to multiply 1,055 by the 2 in the tens column. Remember, because we are multiplying by a multiple of 10, we put a 0 in the units column before we start. The first thing that needs to be done is 20 times 5. But remember, what we will actually do is 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10, so 0 goes in the tens column, and the 1, which is 100, is carried. Next is 20 times 50. So we will do 2 times 5 again. But remember to add the 1 that was carried, making the answer 11. So, write in the 1 and carry the other 1, which is 1,000, to the thousands column. 2 times 0 is 0, so add that to the 1 that was carried, which makes 1. Finally, we need to multiply 20 by 1,000. So what we'll actually do is 2 times 1, which is 2. Can you remember the final step to success? That's right. Add the two numbers using the column addition method to get the final answer. The answer is 24,265. 1,055 times 23 equals 24,265. Now it's your turn. Can you multiply 4,572 by 35? Remember to follow the 4 steps to success. You can pause the video now. Press play again when you think you've completed the task. You were challenged to multiply 4,572 by 35. Did you manage to follow the 4 steps to success? Let's see. Step 1. Write the numbers horizontally, one on top of the other, with the columns lined up correctly. Step 2. Multiply by the units. Step 3. Put 0 in the units column and multiply by the tens. Step 4. Use column addition to add both your numbers together. The final answer is 160,020. Let's just check our working. Does it look right? Yes, this is correct. Well done for completing the task in this video. Remember, you can watch the video and try the tasks in it as many times as you like. You can now apply these 4 steps to success to use long multiplication to solve any problem where you need to multiply a number with 2 or more digits by a 2-digit number. You can also download PDFs from the CD with additional questions to work through.